So it's been a tumultuous week for Liverpool Football Club and their fans. Some highs, a few lows, unfortunately. But how do you bounce back from a Champions League final defeat? What you do, you go and spend some money. Go spend some money on a midfielder, but he can also play right back if he wants. So that man Fabinho has moved to Liverpool from Monaco for 39 million, an initial fee. Chris from the Redmen TV joins me now. Chris, has this cheered you up?
Mate, I'm buzzing. Like I said to everybody yesterday, we came in obviously on Monday to record some content and stuff for Redmen, and I was like, I need to watch the game back. I need to watch the Liverpool Real Madrid match to get some closure, and it didn't. All I needed was Liverpool to sign a boss football player, because signing boss football players makes me excited. I'm back. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for the season. I'm excited for this transfer window, and I'm loving the fact that Liverpool are doing their business early, James.
Yeah, I think that's huge, and I expect quite a few transfers to happen for the World Cup, because there is such a short period of time afterwards. Of course, this is the first year where it's by the start of the season you need to have your squad in place. And the squad that you're putting in place for Liverpool, you know, we were talking before we started filming, that Champions League final, you're missing some players. But it looks like there's new recruits on the way. You've got Keita already signed, Fabinho now signed, and more on the way as well. But let's talk about Fabinho, 24 years old. What is he going to bring to Liverpool Football Club?
Mate, this lad seems to have everything. First of all, he's got a physicality. He's a 6'2" centre midfielder who can play, as you've said, in the 68 or the 2, and that's pretty cool, by the way, according to Jurgen Klopp. And he can do everything. He's a bit of a destroyer. He's probably one of the best tacklers I've seen. You know, I think he'll be the best tackler at the football club. We've not had someone like him since maybe Javier Mascherano. He wants to do the dirty work. He likes to cover depth. He's adept at going and covering in between that sort of full-back area while that full-back pushes on. He's equally as comfortable dropping between the centre halves and covering for them. He likes to drive with the ball. He's strong. He can push past players. He kind of reminds me like a young Patrick Vieira or a Yaya Toure. And if he goes on to have the career that those two have had in the Premier League, he'll be a great signing for us.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a push saying something like that, because this is a guy who can play, say, he can play 6, he can play 8, and play 2. And playing number 2, that's actually really crucial with the point I'm about to make, is the fact that centre midfielders over the years, often it's those players who can't really dribble with the ball, so they get it and they give it. And a defensive midfielder even more so. But this guy can dribble with the ball. He's got pace, he's got height at 6'2". And you look at his passing stats from last season, he's comfortable with the ball and can move the ball forwards quickly as well. So it sounds decent, and he's 24.
Obviously, I've watched all the YouTube videos of all of his highlights, and you know, those Welcome to Manchester United videos that have been flying around YouTube, which has been great to watch, by the way. Yeah. But for me, I've gone back and I've actually watched his last game. I've watched him in the last League 1 game for Monaco, where they won 3-0 against Troyes, and I watched every touch that he made, and I try and analyse a player on a game of football rather than YouTube highlight videos, because let's be honest, I'd probably look all right in a YouTube highlight video. Whereas this guy can control a game of football. You know, he wins those aerial duels. His passing is quick, but it's auto accurate. He loves to play a 1-2 and leave his position and go further forwards. I think he's going to change the dynamic of this Liverpool midfield. I really believe that.
And so you see him as a centre midfielder for Liverpool?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay. So what does this mean for other people in the squad? I think for Chan, this feels like that means I think people knew he was going, but yeah, he was on his way to Juventus, right? But with Keita coming in, I think some people might have thought that Naby Keita might be. I mean, he's a box-to-box midfielder, but people were thinking maybe he might be slightly more defensive in this Liverpool team. But he's not, is he? He's going to be given the freedom because Fabinho is going to be playing alongside him.
Of course you are. That's what you want. You want Naby Keita doing what he does best. You want him affecting football matches further up the pitch. You know, the goals that he scored, the assists that he's got this season and last season. He's a really effective player in the final third. You know, we look at his packing stats over on the Redmen TV, and we know that he's a guy who likes to sort of play the ball in behind players, take players out of the game with either the ball at his feet or when he plays a pass. And Fabinho can do a little bit of that as well. He's got that long range passing ability that you've already mentioned. He's highly accurate, but he plays through balls. And I think the dynamic, as I mentioned before, of this Liverpool midfield is going to completely change. You know, the last few games of the season, we had Henderson, we had Milner, we had Wijnaldum, and that was it. You know, when Oxlade-Chamberlain went down, he was the guy who was transitioning us from centre midfielder to attack. Naby Keita is going to be able to do that. We're not sure when Ox is going to come back. We think it might be November time. But Firmino is going to be able to, you know, win that ball back and also drive on. And it really wouldn't surprise me, James, if Liverpool went to a 4-2-3-1 a little bit more than a 4-3-3 this season. Someone like maybe a Fabinho and a Keita sitting in, hopefully getting someone like a Nabil Fekir who can play that 10 behind your front three. Or does he play alongside Keita and they both take turns to go? I don't know. But Liverpool now, it look like to me, they've got 8 lads to play 3 positions.
Yeah.
And that excites me.
Yeah. And so what does this mean for some of the players that have done so well for you this season? I've got a couple other that sort of popped into my head. So first of all, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's come on the scene, he's been brilliant. He's, it's great to have a local boy coming in and being brilliant at the same time. But he, as a youth team player, was playing as a centre midfielder. And I think some people might have thought that there might be a progression that he might move into that. Obviously, that takes time. He's very young. Is this going to stunt him in any way, or does he need to be a right back for a little bit longer?
I don't think it's going to stunt him. I think it's going to be the making of him, James. And the reason that I think that's going to be the case is because we know, and you know, that modern fullbacks have completely changed in football nowadays. Yeah. And the way that they push on, they need to be midfielders, but they also need to be wingers, and they also need to be defenders. Trent Alexander-Arnold's weakness in his game was defending. He seems like he's got that now, you know what I mean? He's had some big tests this season. Yeah. Absolutely, Ronaldo coming up against him, Marcelo, and the likes of Leroy Sané, and all these players that he's come up against, and he's done so well against this season. But it's his ability on the ball which makes him stand out as a right back. It's that ability to whip a ball into dangerous areas. It's that ability to pick the right pass at the right time, which not many people of his age can do. It's not often you see and you think to yourself, oh, that was the wrong pass. That he very often makes the right decision. It's that ability, James, to play the ball into Roberto Firmino's feet from 40 yards away from him along the floor. That's the ability of a midfielder that right backs in this league, like Nathaniel Klein, even at our football club, doesn't have. The ball goes out to Nathaniel Klein. He gets a little bit further forwards. He's a great defender, but he's not a player who's comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's not going to drive on and beat a man. He's not going to play the ball into your striker or centre midfielder. He's going to turn back and look for his centre half for help. That's why this team suits Trent.
So with Fabinho being cover at right back and you having 8 centre midfielders, is that the end for Klein, do you think?
I don't know, mate. I just think here's what I truly believe is that Liverpool haven't been a big enough club over the last 5 years or so, 10 years, whatever you want to say, to carry a squad with strength and depth. We haven't been playing European football consistently for 10 years. So why can we have 25 men in the squad who aren't all going to get a game of football? Whereas nowadays you look at it and you think, okay, we're going to go in 3 competitions to begin with. Then you throw the Champions League and maybe a deep run in that. Then we can say to players, lads, you're going to get your games here. You're going to get 20, 30 games a season. We've not been in this position before, and it's great that we're looking to capitalise on that. We shouldn't be letting players go. We should be keeping them, because ultimately, at the end of the day, our squad failed in the biggest stage of all at the weekend. And we need to have players, if we can get to that type of situation again, where we can have strength in depth on the bench, even at that time of the year. Yeah,
and I think, when it comes back to that Champions League final, it was a tale of 2 squads, wasn't it? You had Lallana to come on for Salah. Of course, Real Madrid didn't lose a player as influential as Salah in their side, but they were still able to bring Gareth Bale off the bench. So I think you're right in that, because I think there's also people like Henderson, Milner. How is their involvement going to change when you're bringing in these players? But it's all positive stuff for Liverpool fans, right?
Exactly, that's all you want, isn't it? I mean, how do you improve your squad? You buy first team players, and your current first team players who are hopefully worse than them become your squad players. That's how you're supposed to improve a squad of football.
Yeah.
Players, isn't it? Jordan Henderson, I think, is a great footballer. I think he's got a time. I think he's a great captain for us as well. I think he'll have 30 games this season, but he's had injury problems. James Milner's 31 years old. Can he keep going like a Duracell bunny for the rest of his life? Probably. He's James Milner. He's been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Gini Wijnaldum's a converted midfielder as well. He's had the time and the place. Ox has got his injuries. It's the lads like Marco Grujic who are out on loan at the moment that I think that's the end of his Liverpool career. Is Ben Woodburn going to progress?
Yeah.
We've seen him on the international stage with Wales. Can he hold down a starting midfielder role for Liverpool? Probably not. Has he got the pace to do it up front? Maybe not. How are these lads going to develop? That's the question. I think the first teamers are probably all fine.
Yeah. And final question then, a couple of early bits of business, but you'll probably want a few more down the line. Who's next for Liverpool? Who do you want next to finish this off?
It looks like the next player through is going to be Nabil Fekir. It looks like we're strongly linked with him. We've hopefully opened talks with him as well, if you believe the press. The Independent and the Guardian are both reporting that Liverpool wants Nabil Fekir in advanced talks, although Fekir, there is a little bit of confusion about whether he'll move before or after the World Cup. Jurgen Klopp wants his players in before the World Cup. He wants them there as early as they can. But I think for me, it's goalkeeper. Now, I'm all for giving lads second chances. I'm all for developing players and having them have a good career at your football club. But I'm also a ruthless bastard, James. And right now, I want a goalkeeper in to take the number 1 jersey so we can stop thinking about it, because he's sorted the midfield out, he's sorted the attack out, the defence has improved. There's one glaring place in the squad that needs an upgrade, and that's goalkeeper. So I'd have him, I'd have another forward player, and I'd probably have another centre-back if I can get lucky as well.
And I think with that squad, which you can be really excited about, the general age is, these guys are 23 to 28, which is perfect, which is exactly what you want. I wonder, in that goalkeeper position, is that the kind of spot where you want just a bit more of balance in terms of the experience, and maybe you might want someone who's a little bit older, a little bit calmer to do it? I hear Joe Hart is available. So
no, I'd rather take Booth. I'd rather take Booth on, James, to be honest with you.
You never know.
I think he's free. We were linked with him last week, and that would be an absolute team one, Johnny. I'd have him, and I'd have Alessandro Del Piero as well for good measure. Maybe bring Totti over, Zidane, whatever. I'll take them all, mate.
Finish off the job, yeah. And Alisson, maybe he's the one, right?
Alisson could be, and again, Liverpool have looked to sign Alisson already. We've been linked with him for a long time now, and there's going to be some kind of Mo Salah tax on that deal, because they were a little annoyed how cheap we got Mo Salah. Right. So the price for Alisson is going to have a little Mo Salah tax on the top. It's going to be difficult to sign him. It's going to be difficult to sign Oblak. Will he come to Liverpool first and foremost from Let's Go? His release clause is absolutely massive. But I think you make a really interesting point on the age of the goalkeeper. For too long, Liverpool have had a weakness at goalkeeper, probably since the Premier League started, apart from a couple of years with Pepe Reina. I think 3 years out of the last 28 years, we've had pretty poor goalkeepers. We've had a problem there, and that needs sorting. And I'm fed up of people learning their trade at Liverpool Football Club. You should be the finished article when you're a goalkeeper at Liverpool Football Club, and that's the way that big teams do it.
Okay, so the Liverpool squad has been strengthened by Fabinho. Let us know your thoughts on this and other transfers that Liverpool might be going for. There's a lot of competition for a few different players. Fabinho, of course, said no to Arsenal, said no to Man United and chose Liverpool. Has he made the right decision? Let us know in the comments below. Check out the Redmen TV for more Liverpool content. Subscribe to Bull Street, and we'll see you soon.